Hey guys, this is Tiger. Coming back to you with another Minecraft New Adventures episode. But today we are actually going to try and at least get some progress done. And there probably will be the odd spare episodes where I basically do just go and be like, this needs to be done. But before we get that done, we are going to try and get the enchantment room done. Part of me kind of wants to build it like then and have like an open concept. But like, I'm gonna spend say about 10 minutes just looking and. But first, time to go and jump into the pool. Also, guys, quickly gonna say sorry, Overwatch was not Tuesday. I still did do it in the end, and it was just done yesterday. The roof. So while I am thinking of where to build, I was gonna go and be like, I'll show off the roof because I could see it was done. It's like, hold on, wait, no a minute, it's not completely done. I'm missing just under 2 rows. One thing I do like is I completely forgot, like, I decided to do 4 here. Good thing I did, because I would have had to either bring it in by 2 or move it out by 2. Because, like, this would have, like, this, and, like, this would have been fine, but then the cut-off would have been there, so then it would have been 1, 2, then you would have had 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, then you'd have, like, a spare thing at the end. Indirectly, it wasn't something I did plan to do the 4 gap here. I just wanted to have a 2x2 sort of space where it looked like it could go into the mountains either side. And obviously to do that, I then needed a 4 space because I also wanted it to look complete from the outside. So without it just being a giant hole, it needed to be how it is, and it's turned out pretty well. If I do say so myself. But today we're hopefully going to be finishing the dragon's roof. It's something I said would take a few weeks. I'm pretty sure I started it like 3 weeks ago. Unintentionally, it's taken longer than it really needed to, because when I said it was going to take like probably a month, I was full on expecting it to, or at least like 6 episodes or something. I was full on expecting like just doing like the bare minimum in here and all that lot would have taken longer. What's this made out of? Chiselstone. So I full on expected all this to take longer. In all honesty, the roof I thought would take me about an episode, but I am happy how it's turned out. There's a few things I was going to do that I'm not going to. Like, originally I was going to do individual pens. I don't see the need to, because I like the fact of an open concept. Now, if there is ever an add-on, or they decide to do it themselves, where they make barn doors, and I full on mean giant ass sort of gates. Check the chickens while I'm here. Obviously, I 100% should have come on at some point in between the last few episodes and actually get the bricks, like, get the stuff I needed. But in all fairness, I did not know how it was going to turn out and all that lot. Yeah, can still get around. See, I don't know why this fence is still here. Part of me wants to move it. It was never supposed to stay. Hold on. I still got some more of a pickaxe there. Like, hear me out. I reckon a nice little underground borrowed sort of enchantment room could look nice. I'm getting really defend. I put them up because I wanted to essentially mark off where like the end point was going to be. But I did already pre-dug that like I think 6 weeks ago. It's like these had been done like a couple months ago now. So I'm gonna try and sleep. I'm also going to try because it is starting to get annoying. You know, I can get fed to one of the dragons. Should I be trying to get gunpowder for creepers? Probably. Am I basically gonna wait until I've got an enchanted diamond sword? Yeah, then 100% am. He's not gonna drop that, is he? He did. He had 9 of them. Jesus Christ. No. In that case, you lot can keep them. Hey, Toothless, he's a good sleeping dragon. In all fairness, guys, I honestly thought I'd get the dragons, I'd use them and all that lot, and I think I've only really used the dragons for the one time where I, went to get the dragons, and that was because I didn't want to. Granted, at some point in the future, I know for a fact that I probably will go off and explore. Like, I'm kind of tempted for, say, next week's episodes. For, like, say, the next couple weeks' episodes. North. Actually, wrong 100%, not north. Like, go north, south, east, west. And just have a, like, look and spend, like, a good, say, 15-20 minutes. Not, say 15-20 minutes. Half an hour, 45 minutes just exploring. But the thing I need is, I'm gonna presume... Big question, man. How did I put my shears? Ah, I keep forgetting I have a wall room. I'm basically just gonna go and shear all the sheep. Because whatever sheep I don't, get, if I end up needing some, more than, yeah, sorry sheep. Yeah, I did get lime wool. Obviously, I'm surprised that I've got, what I've got, wool-wise. It's gonna I'd love to start working on the actual tent today. I don't think I will. I think that's probably just gonna be, a case of... Yeah, I've got this, I can slowly work on it today. But one thing I do want to do is grab some bone mills, because I like keeping 16 bones on me just in case. It is a 100% break for an emergency situation that I find, guys, I'm the type of person when it comes to Minecraft where it's like, oh look, there's a wolf. Looks like about, oh, I'm gonna tame him. He deserves a friend. But again, my personality when it, IRL is, look at that poor, look at that cute little animal. Oh look, there's a baby. That's literally what I am. I see it cute. I see it like a pet. And it's like, ah, oh look, there's a baby. Big question, how on earth do I get up? That's that problem sorted. See, the one time I decided to build out a mangrove is the one time it's like, great, I don't have none. But guys, I think going forward, New Adventures is 100% going to be... Guys, we're going to spend like 10 minutes just getting what we need, then we're going to go full force and try and see what we can build from what we've got. Because Quest was always more... I got the resources, I'm going to build and I'm just going to hope I like it. I want New Adventures to be... Okay, so what can we do with what we've got? And so far, essentially being more, like, spontaneous with... And, like, not, like, like... I've almost... There's a few times where I think I've pre-planned builds. I've basically never done it, though. And generally the reason I don't typically pre-plan builds is I never know what I want the build to look like. And there is nothing wrong with people who do pre-plan builds. There's 100, like, credit to people who can. Granted, I'm creative in my own right, in my own ways, like... Trying to think of an example. Granted, I can't think of an example, but, actually, okay, I can. Guys, for instance, my first D&D character I ever made was a dude called Pyrus Dragonus. A dragonborn with a not so good family life. And a lot of this was just based on the case of him being the older, like, was sort of being more relied on, like, him being the older and, like, his younger brother coming and sort of being the favourite and him being left out. Part of it was just for the fact of he was feeling jealous, but part of it was due down to the fact of Pyrus was getting left out, and so... But Pyrus was no normal person. His family were thieves. They were... Yeah, sure, you need this done. We can get in this time, it's going to cost. They'd made millions from it, his family had. And they taught him the family business from a very young age, which meant he learned the skills because, like, he learned it from when he was, like, 5. His brother came around a few years later, and his family were like, his parents were like, no, we're done with this, we've got a child now, not acknowledging the fact of they'd already had one, and already taught that kid the ways, so Pyrus couldn't give up the thrill of the hunt and all that lot, like, almost getting caught was, you know, exciting for him. So Pyrus never did, and when when Pyrus turned 10, which was, like, he was, what, 7? Maybe 8? No, about 7. No, he was 5 when his brother was born. There was 5 years difference. And when he turned 10, so his brother would have been 5 at the time, he took his brother on a really risky mission, and his brother accidentally set off an alarm. They were broken into his castle. The king wasn't happy about it. I was like, this block's not gonna. It's like, oh wait, never mind. And Pyrus managed to get out, but his brother didn't, and the king killed his brother because of it. To set an example, anyone who breaks into my castle gets death. Pyrus eventually went and got revenge, but you know, Pyrus' family, his parents, blamed him for it. So, and because of that, he was cast out. Like, he was essentially like, you're no longer our son, we no longer have kids. So, but Pyrrhus eventually did go and get his own payback. Like, he went and spilled every little bit of like dirty information he had on his folks, and there was a good bit of it. Like, he went and told everyone that they'd robbed from because he knew who they were. Was it because he knew who they were because of a simple reason of it was a smallish place, or that he'd also robbed from them, so he knew who they were with a simple point. They were cast out, and he never saw them again. Years later, he meets this older woman, and these 4 other people, and I will tell you their names in a second when I actually get the app up. These 4 other people. Bear in mind, Pyrrhus was a rogue slash fighter. A dude who eventually becomes like a brother to him called Drake, who is a ranger rogue. Great with like archery, and still a rogue. Still have a lot in common. They're still skilled and smart in what they do. And then 2 sisters. Emily, who is a wizard cleric, and Layla, who is a bard paladin. Quite simply, their mother, someone who becomes like a mentor to Pyrrhus, was like a cleric. She was a healer, like, so it's what she used to do. And Drake and Emily eventually end up getting together. Like, they're like family, but not like that like family. Like, they're just like family to Pyrrhus. So, but those Drake and Emily end up getting together, and then Layla essentially ends up being the typical of, hey, you 3 sort of like when I say typical, I'm not going to finish the sentence, but typical person of in a bar, she doesn't always know who she goes back with, that kind of type person. But again, a really good person. She just has a bit more of a wild side. They become like family, and years later, Pyrrhus then ends up on a journey with a group of people, and then he ends up meeting this cleric. One night turns into a case of 3 kids getting born. Helios, who is the youngest one out of the 3, and then 2 older siblings, who I've never named because I've never had to do I've never done character sheets for any of them, so I've never named them. And the way Helios describes his family are, well, likes getting paid back and trying to prove that she's better than my father by, anytime it comes to family events, rocking up with who knows who. My father likes doing the exact same. My Aunt Layla also likes doing the exact same. They like trying to essentially one-up each other. Because Layla was like, essentially, like, because of who the cleric was, she was a bit of a... It made it a lot more fun, but she was definitely more of a case of, wait, you're a dragonborn? Which is why what ended up happening at the end was like a case of, oh, wait, what now? Because the intentional plan of when I designed Layla was, because she's a cleric, so she was religious and all that, so like, I'm gonna design this person called Layla, who I like full on got like help with like naming from the cleric. And I was like, I could be mean, I could name her after like your mother. And the whole reason was like Layla was this person who's like constantly hit on the cleric. Constantly, you want this. And was like constantly like that. And so and from Helios' perspective, and he's not completely wrong, he sees his father, father making an idiot of himself. He sees his aunt making an idiot of herself. So, like, from Helios' perspective, like, his youngest son, he sees, like, all that, and Helios did follow after his father, becoming the exact same what he did. Was this because I couldn't really be bothered to come up with, like, use any other roles? Yeah, it kind of was. But same point, I like the fact of going down the ancestry line, like, because then his older sister kind of took after his mother and was, you know, a cleric, and his older brother took after his Aunt Leia, who was like a bard, so they all, like, took after. So, nice little family sort of thing. And so that, like my full creativity went from designing Papyrus just to be parental problems, parental issues, and, you know, getting abandoned, to full on going, this happens then because it's from Papyrus' perspective, this happens now because it's from Helios' perspective. And, like, full on having, like, a full circuit background and, like, everything done for all of them. But was I a bit of a dick when I designed Layla? Yes, I 100% designed her and was like, you do realize I've done this just to be an annoying dick, annoying prick, and the cleric was like, yeah, I know. It's like, bear in mind, I had known this person for about not 3 weeks. I'd known this person for about 3 months at this point, maybe slightly longer. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. 1, 2. We'll do 8 either side. Yeah. That was 7, and there was 1 space. So, like, my full creativity went into that, and I enjoyed every bit of it. And it's not the only time I've ever been creative. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, again, it's not the only time I've been creative. There's been 2 times where I've essentially gone to write full-on books, but never full-on finished them. Book number 1 was essentially a sort of an Injustice, like, sort of spin-off sort of thing, where what would happen, and so I need to go 1 more. And then my second book that I did start to write a few years ago, it might have actually been last year, maybe the year before. Would I have ever tried to get them published? And I said, no, I 100% no, I'm not that good. It was just a case of, I enjoyed doing it. Was this dude called Blaze, he enrolls into Duel Academy. It's sort of like all the Yu-Gi-Oh's chucked all into one, like, sort of thing. And him trying to become the best, but this other dude, who, for simple, I can't remember what I named him. At the time, it was based off a couple, like this dude, for the simple sake, I'll just say this dude called Ninja, was based off, was his, like, rival, had this really strong deck being World Legacy, and Blaze's deck at the beginning starts off with Speedroid Clearwing. Like Clearwing, Synchro Dragon, and Speedroids. But nothing past sort of Clearwing, because typical Ace, typical Journey, and all that lot. And I never full on did focus anyone else's full, like, decks and all. Then there was a girl, I think called Angel, who was running, like, Trickstars. I can't remember her name. That was based on, like, another friend's, like, preference of their deck. Like, some personality and stuff for them put in, and then another dude called, I can't remember what I called him, but he ran, like, sort of snakes and, like, sort of venomy reptile cards, but didn't really care for duel. Like, he had a duel, he was, like, he could duel, but just really wasn't that fussed about it. Yeah, he did enroll to a duel school, but he was more of a drawer and all that lot, and, you know, wanted to learn how to, like, for simple sake, we'll say he wanted to learn how to, but how to duel, just so he could like duel, like draw cards and all that lot for future. All that because there was a dude in GX called Chumbly who eventually goes and works to making cards instead of becoming a pro level duelist. So. So there was the four of them. And basically through the series, Blaze, like by the end of season 1, Blaze ends up going through this really bad like loss. Absolutely, it gets obliterated. Sort of, you're done sort of thing. And I never did finish it for light, so a lot of this is going to be like now, and some of this, if I ever do go back to rewrite, will potentially get changed. Was lost, and I think by the end of season 1, because it was based on one of my decks that I made called Velocity, which combined. Shit. Do I? Actually, yeah, you know what, we will. Was based on one of my decks that I made called Velocity, which had Speedroids, Clearwing Synchro Dragon, Wind Witch, and Lilirisk. Because they all worked pretty well together. Like the Lilirisk cards allow you to get into something lower level, like Synchro monsters, like High Speedroid. I can't think what it is, but it's a level 3 tuner, Synchro Tuner, which then gives you the ability to excel Synchro Summon, Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. It gives you the ability to go into that, and he then gets the Wind Witch cards by the end of season 1, and that allows him to do, and he gets Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon to. But he gets a bit of an update for his deck, and he gets all those by, say, the end of Season 1, but say, beginning of Season 2. Then in, Season 3, he'd probably get the Lilirisk cards, but in Season 2, no. Well, say Season 1, he wins, but it's hard, but in the Season 2, he gets his Obliteration, which is then when he's like, I need a stronger deck. And at the time, this stronger deck was going to be a deck called Branded, because at the time, I had only just picked up Branded. I'd only just started using meta decks. Branded was the first meta deck I ever used. Granted, a meta deck that I love using now is Sword Soul, because it's really fun. And for the longest time, I'd never had used meta decks, because I was kind of like the case of, I'm peddling them, I don't need to use hand traps and all that lot to win. I don't know whether it was because I was thinking it was better, or whether I was just like, no, I don't need to. Because the person who taught me how to duel was just sort of against them, so a lot of bad habits. Now I, for the most part, do just think hand traps are a necessary evil. Because why I'd prefer not to need them and like rely on them. They can be useful in some key points, and I've won a few duels from. I've more than once had someone surrender because I've negated their opening play, or I've been forced to surrender just because someone's negated my opening play, or I've negated someone's opening play and then being able to go for win for the game on next turn. But yeah, at the time it was a case of they picked up Branded and become this must win at all costs, like Darkness and like Banishment, and like, because up until this point he like the Duke called Blaze was just like, yeah, I'm a good duelist, I enjoy it and all that lot, but then at this point he's like, no, must win. Because he came across a deck that he really couldn't go against, and it obliterated him. For the simple part, I probably would have just wrote it as he came across something like a meta deck, or like something that just really stopped him, and like a deck that basically meant that he didn't get a chance to do anything. Because Jaden in Season 2 went against Aster Phoenix, who was using using more of a combination of heroes. He was apparently an elemental hero user too. So, yeah, so Blaze goes through this really bad loss. He eventually gets past it, but like he leaves for a while, and he tracks down this person who's apparently got this dangerous dark deck. I don't know why I wrote Branded as like this really bad and dangerous deck, but for the simple part, like up to this point, no one did, like there'd been the odd effect, failed the odd Ash, but like those for some like from really top students or pros that they've seen on TV. This dude was just a regular student or regular person who was there at the academy, whooped him because Blaze was 100%. Because at points I'm a tiny bit too cocky, 100%, and Blaze is based off me for the most part. And so Blaze one was like, I could take you in a duel. After barely being able to defeat his rival and still not properly, best he can potentially get is like draws because of how powerful Mech Knight Shady Rigors Max is, and like was made to be in the story wise that was telling. So, and because of that, he thought he could. Turns out he was 100% wrong. But he tracks down the Branded, and he comes back later, and he goes against the same person again, and you don't even see the door, you just see the case of him going, Mirror Jade, finish this battle. Send him to where he belongs, and or like it would just show the fact of Mirror Jade just finishing the battle, because this person would use like strategies and all a lot, and like just withstand his opponent's life points really quickly, and you'd only end up seeing Mirror Jade and like his friends being like, Blaze, well, this isn't you. You've never been like this. And then just being like, it's the new me. And there'd be the odd mention of like him and this dude and his rival Ninja having a duel, and Ninja just being like, it's really like, because everyone being like, Ninja, you're the only person who's ever beaten him. Because Blaze is sort of like Jade and Yugi, barely anybody beats him. Which means when someone does, he really does take it. Okay, for the most part, he did learn from it. Like, he learned if he was going to beat his rival Ninja, that he would need something stronger. And that's when he got Crystal Wing and he thought he'd have a chance, but he never got to test it. But he managed to do it from the fact of basically just getting rid of Mirror Jade from the field and like negating its effects. At some point, I was tempted to change it from Branded and change it to Sword so they're both based Synchro decks. And this was based on the fact of Hellkaiser, or otherwise known as Dark Zane, which Hellkaiser sounds so much cooler. So, because of like that, he was able to. For the most part, I probably would just burn it and then take, because I'm pretty sure that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I'd have like a patch of grass around the outside, but I can make it work. So, yeah, but Blaze beats Ninja. Angel with her like Trickstar Fairies, who would eventually become like Trickstar Melodious, and a few other supports would eventually try and take him on because she's like, my burn strategy will work. Gets beat. His other friend who uses snakes and all that lot was like, okay, I'll try. Nope. And he then just becomes, known as win at all costs. Like, if you're going toe to toe with Blaze, you better come prepared, sort of thing. Like, you'd need like a life jacket, because it went from people being like, hey Blaze, do you fancy a duel, to, oh shit, there's Blaze, run. But like his grades and that lot stayed up, and like he was still performing good. So while the academy, while the teachers and all that lot were like, we've got to do something about him, and they spoke to his friends. In reality, they really couldn't, because they were their hands were sort of tied. Like, they had no reason to kick him out, because he wasn't technically doing nothing wrong. He was just dueling a bit differently. So in the end, they end up speaking to his friends, and they end up saying, because what would happen is legacy sort of like people who pick up, legacy decks would then end up like appearing, because it would be funded by, say, a future Kyber person like Duel Academy, and they'd have, say, like a Blue Eyes deck and like that lot, and it'd basically be arranged for one of his most favorite people, and it'd be a person running Stardust, because Yusei Food is one of my more favorite protagonists. So he'd basically come and it'd get through about halfway through the season, and basically this person would come and like he looked up to him and like would be running like this new version of Stardust and like and all that lot, and he'd come because it was all arranged, and it was just like Blaze to the Doorfield because of the like comm system like all the way around the thing, and he'd come being like what, and it's like you, it's like me, and it's just this person because we've never learned their names just using Stardust, just being like, I heard you like to normal brutally. How about a challenge? And him being like, what's the rules? You win. You get my best. You win. You get some of my. You get any card you want from my deck. So actually. And Blaze being like, I win. You win. We haven't honest goddamn talked. And I talked some goddamn sense into you because you're not acting yourself from what I've been told. And this dude running Stardust was because he was a speed duelist. So he was 100% like, okay, but like I can't. It's like, but I don't have a duel runner, so I can't speed duel. It's like I never said it would be a speed duel. Which is then when Blaze, starts in, it's like, I win. You teach me to speed duel. You teach me to turbo duel. In correction, it is called turbo duel, not speed duel. And he's like, fine. And of course, Blaze gets humbled. He 100% gets beat. Stardust Dragon attack, not even Stardust. Stardust, Divine, like the rank 12 attacks, and he's like, how could I lose? My days of losing were over. No, I can't lose. And this dude just being like, you sometimes win, you sometimes lose. The important thing is, get him back up when you do. And Blaze just being like, this isn't me, and his friends being like, duh. And Ninja just going, missed something because he was like, I don't need you trash cards anymore, and just sort of chucked his deck a lot away and just. And this dude being like, I hear you're a synchro somewhere, because they've got fusion synchro all that lot there, and then being like, yeah, here, take these, and he hands him 3 new synchro cards. Two of them being, see, at the time, I like this is a lot what I would add in and all that lot, and it'd be High Speed Road Cork Shooter, which is the level 3, Clear Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which is the level 10, and then the new rank 12 Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, and this dude would just be like, take these, your deck's not so bad. And Blaze just being like, and they were like, dude, we get it, losing stinks. It's getting back up and, standing back up again. Oh yeah, I have too much dirt into this. And him just being like, how can I ever thank you? It's like, you still want a turbo duel? You still want to learn? And Blaze just like, we had an agreement. We did. But like, you're destined for greatness. And Blaze just being like, why? Why do you think I am? And him just being like, for simple sake, we'll say my part. He's like, I'm related to Yusei Fudo, one of the greatest turbo duelists ever. And then Blaze just like, yeah, he saved New Domino City. I'd also heard that he'd also, met Yugi Moto himself and Jaden Yuki, and then some people being like, wait, hold on. Then one of the teachers just mentioned, hold on, Jaden Yuki came here. Heatlug. And then like the new owner of the academy being like, ah, so I see you're the duelist who's been causing some stir around here. Not as much of a dick as Kaiba is, because Kaiba's 100% like third-rate deck. For Joey, you're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck. The only time Kaiba ever gave Joey any bit of respect was when Joey almost died. And more specifically, when he tanked the hit from the Winged Dragon of Ra. So... oh, god damn it. Where's this dirt from? And him just being like... I don't know however I can, like, how I can come back from this, and... I just need some dirt. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this first. See, a lot of stuff I was planning on doing today, I've really not done. And him just being quite simply, although I might go for longer than normal. The person literally just being like, take him up on his chance, you'd never know what you'll learn, and Blaze then in, say, after that point in, say, like, come season 3, because a big bad fight would come, and this person who, you know, absolutely obliterated him, turned out to be one of the big bad guys. How much? 4 blocks. Plus 1 stone brick. And him just being like, and, you know, them being chucked into several, like, because this would be sort of middle of the grind, and them being like, in so many days, your world will be burned to ashes, and, like, all the typical villain stuff. A lot of this isn't full on, like, I know what I want to do, and him just being, and, like, them all then needing to take on these really strong duelists, just known as duel hunters. Oh, it's jungle, isn't it? And the duel hunters just being strong, and they eventually defeat them. It comes to, like, near the end of the season, and the only one who's, like, still can duel, because when the hunters win, that they take your decks, and like basically Blaze is the only one who can still duel. Him not being confident that he can win. Where is jungle? And, like, the person that, you know, beat him was standing right in front of him, but before he even gets a chance to go toe to toe with this person just eliminates his boss. It's like, I'll be taking the prize for myself. Like, not wanting to, like, share, just willing, full on, I'm winning. Did I chuck all the glass into the right chest in the end? I'm gonna presume yes, I'm gonna presume that's gonna be enough. I hope it's enough. And Blaze needing to essentially face his fears, because this dude's won once. Like, this dude's won once with him using his normal deck. The only time he's ever beat him is when he willingly, and he thought, he was just like, I need to. But the two sort of, you know, pro duelists, like, that you don't need to. You can do this, like, trust in your new cards. So Blaze does go toe-to-toe with him with his upgraded, you know, Wind Witch upgrade, like his velocity deck upgraded with a Wind Witch support, and he gets he gets a good way through. He Wind Witch knuckles him down. He gets clearing it. That does a good bit, and it gets to a point where it's like, that wind is also wrong too, because is it? Like, looking at that now, that looks wrong, and I could easily enough change it, but do I want to? And it's then just been like, we believe in you, and out of the one intense moment, he draws, and he knows what he needs to do, and he just synchro summons Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon, and he's like, attack! And Crystal Clearwing goes in for the attack, and thankfully, I need more iron pickaxes. I'm trying not to waste my diamond. Thankfully, the attack lands, and he wins. Barely, but he does win, surviving on like 10 life points, sort of thing. And as the person gets up to sort of monologue, he's like, no, I won't lose. He then gets sent to like the Shadow Realm, or he then gets essentially taken from the situation. And then that ends like season 2. Season 1 ends with this big battle against this upcoming foe, and then season 2 ends with how it started. And him being like, I should never have given up on you, Death. Because while the two new cards were what eventually gave him the win. Because I've never myself summoned a new Crystal Winged Dragon, because first of all, it's not rare. 2, I do need to kind of redo my deck to make sure I can do it. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 more. And, you know, Blaze gets to win, he's happy, a party gets thrown, and the person running Stardust is like, your 3rd year, you get to do sort of like a summer exchange sort of program. And he's like, yeah? Why don't you come and intern with me and my professional team? Because the professional team being Team 5Ds, the people who originally had the 5 Signer Dragons, they were passed on to their next generation, and Blaze is like, yeah, sure. And a few other people end up turning up. A speed duelist who runs, for instance, we'll say Melodious, not Melodious. Who runs the only thing is, I can very much grab the deck what I'm on about. Water Attribute Cyberse. Marincest, runs Marincest. I was going to say Trickstar, but, you know, runs Marincest. Like, that the person who runs that now, she comes and says, why don't you come and work with me and I'll teach you the benefits of speed dueling? And a Cyberse player comes up to Ninja and's like, why don't you come with me and I'll teach you how to duel on the back of a board? And, like, some virtual reality dueling and all, like, well, you know. I'll teach you all I know. And I probably will do a slab to roof, potentially. I don't know yet. And the snake person goes for someone, and the person say owns Pegasus, Pegasus, card company now. So like, why don't you come and intern with my company and I'll, hold on, wait. Okay, I know where it is. Yeah, it's literally right above us. So that's fine. And so they all do. They all go and spend summer, and then season 3 or the third sort of book would then, or like the third, like essentially the third season would then kick off with them all coming back and having new skills. Blaze coming back with some new cards, and them being like, Ninja being like, "Hey Blaze, what have you learned?" And it's like, I've learned a lot. Like, I'm now semi good. I'm not complete pro level at turbo dueling, but I can hold my own. And the tricks, the angel for this sake, just like, yeah, I learned how to like speed duel and all that lot, and like we should all duel, and the snake person just being like, yeah, and then being like, wait, do you not? It's like, no, I realizing the fact that he'd much rather create the cards. So Blaze and Ninja end up dueling, sort of an off-screen sort of thing. We just saw see the final thing of a new like World Legacy card attacking the Lilith monster, and him being like not going out like this, and it ends up in a draw. And then Blaze just being like, Ninja, like you've updated your deck. He's like, I've updated my deck. Look at you, Winged Beast now too. Yeah, I learned a lot from the user who uses Black Wings, and I picked up a few things, and I've got these new support cards, and just being the fusions for both Winwitch and Lilith, and the level 8 diamond, I think it's Diamond Bell. It'd be those cards, and that's all just be the point for like season 3. Then like for instance, this big threat then doesn't come in as it usually does, and it ends up being a turbo duel. But Blaze's deck gets nicked. He's like, what am I supposed to do? And it's like, do you not have another deck? And it's like, no. And then Duel Academy being like, Blaze to the principal office, Blaze to the principal. He goes, and it's like, here, take this. This is only supposed to be used in an emergency, and it ends up being Sword Soul. And he's like, you trust me? Wouldn't be the first time, Blaze. And he gives him a deck so he can, and then he challenges this person on a duel field, and he sort of starts to panic, being like, I can't, because like his own deck gets used against him. It's like against like this dueling robot. It's like, I can't duel against Clear Wing Synchro, like Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. And he does end up winning, getting his deck back, and blah blah blah. But that was kind of like my point for like story wise. But for the rest of today's episode, which is going to be slightly longer than normal, I'm going to try and essentially finish like this hole finish digging. I probably will eventually like hook. I probably will just go from like here, hook it all up, and have it connected up this way, because it would kind of be simpler. If I do, it will be done in between episodes. But yeah, like that was kind of my point for like a story point for like if I was writing say a door sort of thing. I think for the most part, what I probably will do is dig this out, mark out the area for the path, and then potentially do some of the path, just because. what the time is. Also, guys, I'm gonna stream for slightly longer just because I did say tonight would probably like I did say Quest would probably be out earlier yesterday. Basically, this was another case of me going, yeah, I can film Quest early in the morning, and it's like, now, did I choose to rewatch K-pop Demon Hunters for the 23rd time? Compared to streaming for like an hour? Yes. But in reality, it was just more of a case of like I was eating lunch, and I had it while I was eating lunch. Plus, by the time it came to it, it's like, well, I want some time to eat that. I also I wanted to jump in the shower at like 10, like before 3:30. The simple reason was a Twitch, not Twitch, a TikToker who goes by the name Scone. I'll go on to TikTok and pull them up considering this whole thing. SCOONE. I'm saying Scone. I don't know if it's right. Basically, for the most point, goes live every day at like 4 o'clock, roughly UK time. And she's also a UK content creator. And up until a while ago, I wouldn't say I'd willingly sit and watch through a TikTok live. Really didn't interest me. But watching her play Beat Saber and getting to listen to the odd random songs that I've, for a good part, never heard of. Like the first songs, like the ones I've heard of, obviously the K-pop Demon Hunter ones. Like, I've heard all of them. But then like Legends Never Died, which was played today. Some of the Has Been Hotel ones. What I probably will do is just finish digging this wall. I will pick up the torch after because I do have a light. I do kind of want to use something like lanterns. I shouldn't have none made. I'm also not sure the crafting recipe off by heart, so basically, guys, in the end, I decided, because I think in the end I had probably about 45 minutes to potentially stream this morning, and to be fair, basically what I can tell you what happened. I would have got to stay up to about, say, the 50 mark and being like, guys, this is the end. I will even do a few stuff in between episodes. Annoyingly, the one time I wish I had an enchanted diamond pickaxe. I probably will go until this pickaxe breaks. I also do plan to essentially go over the... Actually, I don't think I can. But that's why I probably will just do slabs to the roof. Weirdly, I'm kind of thinking mangrove. Weirdly, but it's like, I already don't have that many. I probably will do something like birch. Also, guys, I think I have mentioned it before now, but anyone who wants to watch... Anyone who wants to watch the live-action How to Train Your Dragon, it is now out on Amazon Prime. For like, I think 15 quid. But that is UK pricing. You know what, I probably will just finish this wall. So, like, don't get me wrong, I loved How to Train Your Dragon movie, but like, It was based on a movie that came out 15 years ago. Like, for the most part, it's based on the animated movie from 2010. Like, 2010. Which meant I knew a lot of stuff was going to happen, and I was impressed overall. Like I said, yeah, I knew it was going to break about halfway through. I expected him to break it before I even got to this wall. So, I knew what was roughly going to happen, so I wasn't like, oh my god. I loved the movie, don't get me wrong. It was a really good movie, and I'm happy about the changes they did make, because while they weren't wrong, and while there's nothing wrong with the original cut, and while there probably is one thing I wish they did, what I probably will do is more likely in between episodes, hopefully in between episodes. I know in fact I'll forget. I probably will just dig it out like 4 more, like that way, and I potentially might bring it in. Unless I do enchantment room like down there, book storage down here. But I'm not having another creeper blow up on me today. Part of me, this is kind of the reason why I kind of want to put like a door on, or at the very least, like build it so it looks like one, like it come in a tiny little bit, or just build it so it looks like a couple. And but the only problem is I wouldn't actually like to put an actual door in them would be a pain. I think what I probably will end up doing once I've done it is just putting lanterns up in the corners. At some point, I probably... Again, at some point, I probably will just make a little area where I can. Just essentially go here, into there, into there, into there. And for that, they can go there. And that can go in there. I'm hoping I can sleep and then just sprint away. Barely. It's the reason why I kind of haven't been like going completely out. Like at some point, I probably will just do a mental case of, guys, I've got like 3-4 stacks of TNT. Let's go. Now, I was gonna try and do the tent in this episode. I don't think I know for a fact I'm not gonna be able to. That will be done at some point. But for once, it feels like I've not done much. But like time has really gone fast. Like I've been going for over an hour, and I tend to do like 15-minute episodes. Only because I want the roof done, I'm gonna go get some more bone meal. And the reason I won't use one is I've expanded again. Although I just love getting reminded from things like Facebook being like, "Hey, do you remember what you were doing in 2015?" It's like, no, I really don't. It's like, why would I remember what I did 10 years ago? And that hit me. I've been on Facebook for over 10 years. I will probably make a new iron pickaxe in between episodes. I will need to. No, bigger question, can that grow from there? Yes, it can, but it's kind of very short. I'm more surprised that worked. See, this is the fun part where I get to poke random holes in and just be like, yeah, okay. But like, yeah, the reason why I've not been like overly hyped in like I saw the live action How to Train Your Dragon. I think it was near the end of June. So, but again, it was based off the 2010 film. I'd recently seen the 2010 film. Granted, I'm kind of excited to rewatch it from the point of view of I know what's going to happen. I want to do a review of it like myself, because the review I did of the live action one was based on the first time watching it. The review I did K-pop Demon Hunters was I've seen it a few times. Here's my honest opinion. I think for the most part, like. Guys, K-pop Demon Hunters has gone from being globally number one over on like Netflix wise. I checked earlier; it's apparently number one on UK. Number one in the UK. So actually, I'll leave those sticks on me. No, we'll need them. So yeah, so the reason why I have literally just been, oh my god, this moves so great. When I originally watched a movie called Purple Heart, which I do think still is a pretty decent movie. I wouldn't necessarily say overall it's my overall favorite. It was a good movie. No, I don't have regrets of watching it. Not as much as I do watching the 2015 Fantastic Four movie. Like, guys, I didn't even fully watch that, and it's like, why? Why did I do this to myself? At some point, I do want to watch the new Fantastic Four movie. I potentially might try and watch that tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure yet. Just because by Saturday I would have seen K-pop Demon Hunters 26 times. Because I've seen it 25 at the minute. So yeah, 26. Although overall, I will say this place, like, I like the pattern. You've got sort of the nice stony sort of roof and like the nice woodeny pattern. Something I kind of would be intrigued to do is like do a dark oak stripe pattern down the roof, but like I'd rather not. Stream will be done soon. This episode of New Ventures for this week will be done soon. Like, looking at the roof, it looks so nice. I like it. See, like, annoyingly, part of me is tempted to like, do I change this to like the brick? Was it bricks? Did I use stairs or did I use? No, I just used normal wood. Do I change it? It's like, no, I like it. Like, I could have 100% just gone with dark, but I like the fact that it's like four different colors. So, yeah, it does look pretty good. I'm happy with it. That is the building finally. That is the Dragon Stables finally done. Never did I thought I would have built the dragon stables, had them fully done before I'd even done the horses. But again, for the horses, I have no idea where I'm putting them. Part of me's just tempted to make a giant sort of field, like, build a giant field, or like, actually, hang on. The problem with having too much wood. Wooden planks. I'm rephrasing that. Problem with having too much wooden planks and slabs. No, hear me out. I could eat too much work, is it? Part of me wants to have it closed, but part of me is like, do I really need the horse stables closed? The only reason I've not done nothing about the horse stables or the fox pen, because, like, granted, what I want to do for the fox pen is have like a nice snowy sort of den look, and the horses could 100% do with somewhere proper, and they would have got somewhere proper if I hadn't got the dragons. But the dragons accidentally took priority. What I'm thinking is I could terraform some of this behind here and have it right behind here. Or just have sort of a mountier look, but again, I will think of a few things. Like, honestly, until an hour ago, I was not 100% sure on what I was going to do with the enchantment room. Now it's like, oh, that's annoying, but can be fixed. Again, like, all of this will be fixed at some point. It's just that, like, I'm not using planks. But again, what I probably will have is the enchantment room over there, storage for the enchantment books over there. I'm seeing it now and it's like, it looks amazing. But again, it's me being really, like, overhyped about my own builds. Because every so often I get, like, really, like, 3 builds that 100% come to mind when I say this are 3 builds in the Funland Zone quest. They're all very similar minigames, but I was really excited about building them. But anyway, I have talked for enough time. More of me questioning how come one of my mates isn't online. And I'm presuming it's because they've got something on tonight and they're out. Alright guys, put your predictions now on how long this basically broken chest plate will last. Because originally it was, I've got to take the helmet off because you can barely see my eyes. Now it's the only thing stopping me from being the only thing that's, you know, covering me. But either way, guys, this is Tigress. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you Saturday for potentially Marvel Rivals. I will check to see if Overwatch do, because I'm saying it now. If Overwatch put in a case of, because it's usually for like 3 days, it's usually for like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday sort of thing. So it's usually for like 3, potentially 4 days. Come Tuesday, they're taken out, where they put in the new hero in the previous season. Frey was chucked in for like, I think 3 days during season 15. Yeah, during season 15, then was added properly for season 16. So for season 17, I think it is, this new hero, I'm presuming, is just going to be chucked in for literally for like a few days so people can get to them. And if they are, I will basically be like, guys, additional thing, and you'll basically get your Marvel Rivals stream at some point. It'll probably turn into a being a Sunday. But again, got confirmation on this, so if I wasn't busy tomorrow, what I would do is just do Marvel Rivals, and if Overwatch did it, I'd just chuck an additional stream. I might still chuck an additional stream for Marvel Rivals for Sunday, because I'm starting to really enjoy it. I might try and record a Fortnite video just because, one, I've not done Fortnite on anything on Fortnite. Two, I'm slightly enjoying this. The season's only just come out, but it does appear to be kind of fun. So, yeah, either way, guys, this is Tiger signing off. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time. Bye.